Hello, Facebook world, and welcome back to another epic Lunch and Learn. We are so excited to have you today. I'm going to introduce you to a game that I learned in the education conference world today. But before we get there, just as people are coming on and trying to figure out what's going on and what we're all about, I would like you to tell me. So in my household, we are like gamer heavy. My kids Roblox, my husband Robloxes. That's probably not even a word. But Horizon came out with a new game last night. And so did your family go do the midnight release of Horizon and then stay up all night long like my family did? Go ahead and just give me the thumbs up if they did, and you can actually comment, I have no idea what you're talking about, if you have no clue what I'm talking about. And that's fine, because guess what, guys? I have no clue what this is either. I'm not a gamer. I really kind of wish I was sometimes so I could like speak their language. But I'm not. So give me the thumbs up if you did the whole midnight release and stayed up all night long with this game Horizon, or just say, I don't know what you're talking about. If you, yeah, is it free on PS4? Nana T, no, they went to GameStop. They had actually pre-ordered this thing, went to GameStop to pick it up. I guess if you didn't pre-order it, it comes out today. If you pre-ordered it, you could pick it up yesterday. But they are playing it on the PS4, so hopefully, yeah. Sammy, no clue either. I'm sure somebody will announce that they have some sort of clue what I'm talking about. Okay, well, welcome back to another Lunch and Learn. Fridays at noon. We kind of discuss with you, setting the tone for us and giving us feedback, all sorts of topics. I am Erin Barnes. I'm your host this go round, and well, let's get into it. So this game, rocks versus sucks, and I know some of you are like, Erin, please don't use that word. Like, we try not to use that word in my house, and I get it, but once you get into the rules, and once we start getting into it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I totally get why you used that word, sucks. And so the premise is, in the education world, I would have a giant room and a whole bunch of people, and I would name a topic and list the topic and say, all right, now you guys go to this side of the room if you think that this topic rocks, and you'll go to this side of the room if you think this topic sucks. And so then we take second, and everybody goes to their designated spot in the room, and then we're like, okay, rocks, why do you think this rocks? All right, sucks, why do you think this sucks? But I'm changing it up because I don't have a giant room with you guys. I have a virtual space here. And so what I want to do is talk about several different things that Epic is and we do, and you're going to give me your rocks first, and then we'll get into the sucks. But I want you to participate in both, okay? So some of these things you're going to be like, it's going to be hard pressing to find a reason this rocks, but I want you to try. I think we're going to have a good time here today. Can I get a bunch of thumbs up? Press the thumbs up button if you think that this could be intriguing. Let's see it. I want to see all those emojis. Yep, just smash the thumbs up button. Okay, I see you. I see you. Very good. Okay, here we go. The first topic today is the Epic Essentials. All right. So the first thing I want you to do is tell me what rocks about Epic Essentials, and put it in here. What rocks about the Epic Essentials? Go. Nana T, I didn't know there was going to be a test. Nana T, there's always a test with me. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going to be a fun test. I think you're going to have a good time. So and some of you may not even know what the Epic Essentials are, because you can test out of it. But the Epic Essentials are something we do every year. And in case you didn't know why, we benchmark kiddos at the beginning of every school year. And based on that benchmark, we say, hey, you've got a couple of gaps here, or you've got the need to get some remediation in a few areas here. And I don't see anybody typing rocks in here. So please give me reasons right now on why Epic Essentials rocks. Okay. But anyway, so we test the kiddos and then we say, you may need some work here. We are a mastery based school. All right. So to get full mastery, we're going to work on standards that are behind the curve as well. You guys have heard me mention the book One World Schoolhouse by Sal Khan. And he's the guy that wrote Khan Academy. Sorry, I was looking up at my bookshelf here. Um, the the idea is that we don't have Swiss cheese in our brains, right? We don't have these big holes or gaps of information in our brains. And so that's why we bring the epic essentials in. So tell me why those epic essentials rock. And that's freckles. Some of you are using IXL. Some of you are in study, I know, Success Maker for this. My family had done Success Maker. So tell me why you love it. And we'll get to the sucks in just a second, but let me see. Serena says, my son loves Freckle. He thinks it's fun and would rather do essentials than core. I can totally understand that. Some of those kids, especially when it's a rewarding environment, it's awesome. IXL skill building. Very good. Very good. Let me see. Sammy says, I love that it doesn't feel like a punishment to students. It feels like a reward and to have extra fun. Chelsea says, IXL gives my kiddos confidence. Oh, gives my kiddo confidence in his skills. Awesome. Amanda says, we love IXL as a way to check off standards. Perfect. Thank you. Now, that took a little bit of hand holding to get you through the rocks. So let's see if sucks is equally as hand holding, or if you can give me all the reasons that this sucks. So go ahead. I'm giving you permission. Tell me why Epic Essentials sucks. And guys, the reason I'm getting here is basically I'm soliciting you for feedback on some of these things to see how we might be able to better improve the school. So go ahead. Tell me all the things that suck about Epic Essentials. I know it is. I know it is, Amanda. Listen, me and my team, we had this conversation before we got going. Amanda wrote can of worms. I know it is. But we can't get better unless we open that can of worms. So let's go ahead and rip it off and see what we've got. Let's see. Shirley says, my 4 are learning in IXL and Freckle. That is awesome. I love it. Okay, Serena says, sometimes it's hard to do core and essentials. We just don't have enough time. I completely understand that. And guys, just full transparency on this side, some days we don't log into that freckle, and other days we double up the freckles so that, and okay, you people with all these lists of reasons. I appreciate the list of reasons, but it seems like the sucks is easier. Hopefully we get an equal amount on both sides on the other topics. But so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are core, and Monday, Wednesday, we do math plus. Tuesday, Thursday, we're in Success Maker working those epic essentials. So, and then we'll just, with Success Maker, it logs you out after you've done the certain amount that it is. We log in again to get more time. Okay, let's get to why you think that. Jessica, freckle timer accuracy. Hello. I think that's probably the number one reason that it is not liked, is because you can log time and then it's not tracking things well. Regina's loving the fact that Amanda said can of worms. Kristen says, no instruction to help the kiddo relearn what they're struggling with. Kristen, I get it. So the idea behind that is that it's supposed to back them up far enough. Like, here's the actual deficit, and it's supposed to go back a little bit further to work its way up. Okay. And so it's supposed to basically go a little bit further back so that they remember and are able to move forward. But I agree with you, Kristen. Sometimes it's really hard. Having to work through that, and you don't want to help them because then you're going to make it even harder. But yeah, Kristen, that's a great point. What else is defined as an epic essential? So Chelsea, it really is supposed to be freckle. For some kiddos going through RTI, they were exempt from freckle so that they could go through that RTI process, which is just response to intervention. We saw that you were far enough behind that we really needed to use something else than just the whole filling. So like my kiddos went through RTI and they used the success maker, but it sounds like IXL is acceptable for some others. I think it really boils down to you have to have a conversation with your teacher and principal, Chelsea. So I hate that I have to give that as the default answer. Brandy says, my son has always tested out of it, but I really feel like if we had to do it on top of his core, I would consider another school. I hate to say that because I love Epic, but his core takes the entire school day. And Brandy, I'm with you. There are some days that we're done by 2 o'clock because that's what we've outlined, and there are some days that even at 4:30 my kids take a break for a while and then they come back and do a little bit more. So I totally understand, Brandy. And Brandy, would you mind dropping in the comment section what core your kiddo is doing? My oldest is in Edgenuity, and that's the one that's typically taking a break and then coming back because Edgenuity is just a really long. It's like the lessons take a while. Let me see. Jessica says 30 minutes daily, 5 days is not something students should have to keep up with on top of all the other requirements. Jessica, totally understand. But if they are behind 30 minutes versus, I don't know what the alternative would be, but the idea was that it was just 30 minutes and not more. But I totally hear what you're saying. Lex says is there any specific day that they're going to send out information about graduation? So we have, Lex, a little bit, and we're going to get there. But let's drop the graduation. I've got it pulled up because I knew we were going to talk about some of this. But let's drop the graduation link into the Facebook for Lex. Chelsea says no problem. Okay, so the next rocks versus Seth. I want to know what rocks about the Learning Fund. And I see, here's another can of worms. You don't even have to say it, Regina or Amanda. I know what I'm opening up here. But tell me what rocks about the Learning Fund, and go. So, did you know that while I'm waiting on you to enter things about the Learning Fund and what rocks about it, did you know we are the only school in the state that takes public funds and allows you a portion of those funds to decide how to best educate your kiddo? The only school in the state that gives that. And honestly, I would like to know nationally how we stack up, because I don't know of other schools that had the idea of giving parents so much choice. So while we are waiting on these to come up, let's see, for the Learning Fund, I love that we've paid for activities. My youngest did gymnastics for a long time, and it was cute when she was in recreational gymnastics. That Learning Fund would last, I mean, most of the year because the recreational gymnastics was not that expensive. But then when she moved into team gymnastics, I had to say, okay, sayonara using the Learning Fund for this, because it would cover 2 months maybe of team gymnastics. But my oldest now is in tennis and loving the extracurricular, and the fact that it helps pay for things that just aren't available here. And I know that we've got lots of different things being paid for. So let's see what you love the most about the Learning Fund. Mhm. Chelsea says activities we could not afford on our own. Chelsea, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Brandy says Edgenuity, but it isn't having to do such a long school day, something that is not making sense. All the things that they don't have to deal with in brick and mortar should not take an entire school day, should be finished much earlier than 3. And Brandy, I would agree with you, with the exception of what grade is your kiddo in? Because in the brick and mortar world, and I totally get that there are specials that they're not going to, their lunch. I mean, well, we take lunch breaks, but bathroom breaks. All these things that they're not having to go to. But in the brick and mortar world, let's not forget homework that typically gets sent home as well. So they don't finish during that regular day either, especially when the kids get to high school. You could see 2 to 3 hours of homework every single day on top of the schoolwork. So I hear what you're saying, Brandy. I really do. But I guess it depends on what grade that kiddo's in. And thank you for dropping the link for graduation. So anybody wondering about graduation, the link is here. Sabrina says, rocks being able to customize our curriculum. Sucks how long it takes with vendors. Totally agree. Kristen says, it was unexpected with enrollment, and my daughter has enjoyed all the art activities. We would otherwise not be able to afford this much. Yes, Kristen, so much. And so while we've got comments coming through, give me the sucks. What sucks about the Learning Fund? And I hope the only thing that sucks is maybe the length of time, but we'll see. Let me see. Kelly says, able to afford extracurricular activities that we might not have been able to. Totally. Sammy says, gives kids an option to get what they actually need. Many student families face low income and can't afford supplies. The Learning Fund allows them to do extra and hands-on learning that they would otherwise not get. Oh my goodness. So Sammy, I'm wondering if I can grab it. Favorite book on that the Learning Fund has paid for is The Nature Connection. This Nature Connection is so much fun, and this is Jolene's, but it gives you the month up at the top, like what month is this? Okay, this is something that you can do during this month, and so it's just super exciting. July, well, it's not nowhere near July. Let's see. Learning about the sky, and that's year-round. How to be a naturalist is year-round. Let me get, what is today? Today is February, right? So, okay, it looks like it's just a one semester at December, but we are not doing it the way it's lined out because we're, homeschoolers and we do what we want to do, right? No, just kidding. So, but around this time of the year, you can see which animals are living out in the world, which are hibernating, what kind of plants you'll see. The different types of landscapes you'll see. I mean, guys, this was one of my favorite Learning Fund purchases ever. Okay, let me see here. Learning Fund through Power School does suck. I totally agree. It's just so hard, but it's getting better. And for what it's worth, you may or may not know Epic World, but when we had to make so many changes to appease the state, appease the board, appease everybody, except for ourselves sometimes, we had to make a choice to go with a student information system, and we only had 3 months to get that student information system. Power School is the only one, and they really have adapted to us so much. We are building the boat as we're going along, and that might be too much information for you, but I totally agree. It is getting better though, Shirley. You are so right. I am trying to find out what's going on with the Learning Fund. I hear you. I think it's awesome, especially for families who cannot afford tech and extracurricular activities. Michelle, yes, tech comes out of the Learning Fund. You can get a Chromebook or an iPad, depending on what grade level your kiddo's in. How awesome that is a one-to-one device that is paid for by the Learning Fund. Great. We can customize our specific interests and needs. Yes, Serena, very good. Nana T says, rocks, we get to decide on our items, whether sports or STEM or ink and copy paper. Need to place my first order. And I have seen you in there. You are so fun to watch in that parent Facebook group. Okay, let me see. Lex says, I finished all my work and don't use my email no more. And so is there going to be an email scheduled out day or night? We're wondering specifics. So Lex, hopefully you can click on that link and see it, but we have day and night sessions, 3 locations, 3 sites. I am really excited about graduation. We're talking about it nearly every day around here. Brandy says, Learning Fund is totally great. You are not locked into just small school sports as the only extracurricular activity offered. You can really choose what your child can excel in. I agree. I think the Learning Fund department needs a vacation. Oh, Amanda, they would hug you for saying that. I need that book, Michelle. Yes, it's The Nature Connection. Amanda, they really do. They work so hard. Sammy, thank you for reiterating that. Jessica says orders from month to month from a month ago, not approved yet. Orders are being deleted because they were kicked out of the system. Parent then has to, oh gosh, I just went backwards. Parent then has to resubmit weeks later. The cycle repeats. Jessica, I totally understand and totally agree. And here's the thing with the Learning Fund not rolling over, it's never been an issue, right? But now everybody's like, okay, well, I have like $2,000 in my learning fund because we've rolled over from previous years. And I get it. You want to spend it all right now, but that means that the learning fund has more orders than they've ever had before. And some of that getting kicked out of the system, Jessica, is the number of parents overloading the system. They have actually gotten um, more servers opened up through both PowerSchool and SpinBridge. And so hopefully you're going to see a little less of that. Sucks not being able to see real-time balance on parent side and no notice and denied items. Kristen, that is changing, just so you know. I mean, we are helping them write code to be for us. The system that we're using is set up for every school across the nation. We're not every school across the nation. Totally agree. We are working on becoming more transparent. Nana T says, sucks not knowing what the money caps are on items. Where to start? Ugh, not knowing where to have a different. Okay, I agree. There should be a document that has been shared that tells you like $75 on ink, stuff like that. So while I'm getting through the rest of these comments, I wanted to go with flexible schedules. What rocks about having flexible schedules? And then what sucks about having flexible schedules? And I hear you, you're like, why would having a flexible schedule suck? I have a suck on that. So I'll share it whenever I get here. But let me see. Becky says, I like being able to use the learning phone for extracurricular activities. Amanda says, is there a parent guidebook or something to help make learning? Yes. So yes, there is, Amanda. We've put some step-by-step instructions on the website. Amanda may have also shared them in the parent Facebook group. But here's the thing, guys, we have so much information to share with you all the time. We are trying to find a way to make it easier for you to search and find that information on your own. But yes, we can help you, Amanda. And another thing you can do is go to the Epic Charter Schools website and get into that chat box and chat with one of our specialists, and they can help you through it as well. Let me see here. I hate that the Learning Fund isn't rolling over. Becky, I 100% agree with you, but it was causing financial issues that like our authorizers, and that the state was like, hey, this is not okay. And this is not what, I mean, they have to true us up a little bit. And I get it, on their side, it's wonky. And then you open a can of worms, if we want to use y'all's vernacular, for other schools to be able to do this, and then it becomes super unscalable really quickly. So I get why the State Department wants it. I get why the authorizers want it, and the statewide virtual charter school board wants it. So it's something we are going to work towards. But you're right, it does suck that it doesn't roll over. Especially in the year that we went to a new program with a little less transparency. So let me see. Brandy says, I really hate that people complain so much about the Learning Fund. I mean, brick and mortar schools never paid for my son's paper, much less anything else. Brandy, thank you. And I would hug you. I'm going to hug you virtually right now. Do not forget to add why flexible schedules rock and why they suck. Go. But Brandy, I'm with you 100%. The complaint, I mean, but human nature says we it's really easy to complain. And especially when something's not going your way, you're like, you kind of want to commiserate and find somebody who agrees with you. And so I get why it happens. I don't want to silence anybody, but it is hard, especially knowing that there is no other school out there like us. Let me see. How would vendor update his or her information? Great question, Shannon. And I guess, in which way are you asking? Are you a vendor now and you just need to update us? For that, I would email the school, and we can get that. It's vendors@epiccharterschools.org. And we can help you get anything updated that you need updated. Let me see here. Sammy says, We have a lot of family out of state. It's nice to be able to take those trips to see them and our kids not get behind. Sammy, yes, I totally agree with you on that one. Having the flexible schedule is awesome. Becky says, flexible schedules rock because we can set the pace. It's awesome. Yes, guys, I spent 3 weeks in Colorado a couple of years back. My kids and I lived in a van, basically following my husband from from Denver to Durango while he mountain biked across the mountain ranges. Um, that's awesome. Not only was the trip awesome, I'm not trying to brag about that, but the fact that I was able to work and my kids were able to do school during all of that, that is awesome. Plus, we were getting so much just life science and outdoors experience. It was unreal. Serena says, rock. I love traveling when everyone else is in school. Smaller crowds, shorter lines when we go to Disney World and Universal. Yes, you get to choose when you're going. And so we've done the same thing with ski trips. We know that schools are letting out at this time. We're going to go the week before or the week after. So, yeah. Flexible can stink when your kiddo doesn't believe they need to get X, Y, and Z done now. Amanda, that is exactly right. I've got time. I can get that done. It's not due until June or May or, whatever. And so, totally with you. And then as we're doing some of these live classes now, Math Plus, for instance, they have actual due dates. It's not quite as flexible as it used to be. I love the program and wouldn't change it for anything. We'll be in that program as long as it exists in Epic, but not changing the world there. Okay, I got to get to one more Rocks versus Sucks, and I'll read it, but I can't believe how quickly this time has flown by. How does communication work? And so I want to know, you got to tell me what communication you're talking about. Social media, email, website, parent Facebook group. You've got to identify what rocks with that and what sucks with that. But I need to know which one of those forms of communication you're talking about. Is it the lunch and learn where we go live and talk to you? Let me see here. Flexible schedules rock. Older kids availability to work jobs. Oh my gosh, yes, they can work day job and not night job. That's awesome. Love combining real life lessons into our travels, like calculating mileage for math, journaling for language arts, photography for art, and we can still do freckle and core at the airport in the hotel. Nana T says, sucks because Nana has ADHD and staying on task. I love it. Okay, guys, as these rocks and sucks come in for communication, I did want to make a plug for the student council put on a pet show. And you all submitted your pet photos. They were awesome. The student council actually did the judging, but the results are in, and a video will be posted at 1 o'clock today on our Facebook page so you can see how your pets stacked up against the rest. Let me see here. Communication with teacher Crystal Gonzalez is fantastic. We have also had success with chat feature on the website. Brandy, thank you so much. And I know Crystal personally. She is amazing. Okay, the other thing I wanted to tell you about was graduation. We've got 3 sites this year. We're going to have 6 graduations. So if you are in that group of kids who are graduating this year, go check out the link that we posted above. Here we go. There is everything you need to know. And as we get more information, we're going to put it out there for you. Awesome. Lunch and learn. I retain more giving info along with the comments. Awesome. Serena says, I love all the resources Epic provides and that there is support whenever I need it. Michelle says, rock. I love the lunch and learn because we get to ask questions and get answered ASAP instead of having to wait cons. No cons, LOL. All right, well, I'm going to honor this time today. We are going to continue to monitor the comments for your flexible schedule, your communication, your learning fund, and your Epic Essentials comments. We want to see it. We want to know, even if this video is over, you can still leave your comments and we're still checking those comments. Until next week, thank you for making Epic a top place to work and a top place to learn. Bye.